Okay, this gentleman is called the Modern King, and he has this coping title in his video: 100,000 feminists accidentally proved men were right all along. Now, this video shows women attacking men on a political level relentlessly, and men not fighting back. So this is a cope title, Modern King. Now, you've got 250,000 subs, so it's important that I get through to a large channel like yours, and we'll see if you're capable of changing your ways.
So 100,000 women went on strike today in Iceland to demand gender equality.
The guy talking has already got the framing wrong. In order for these women to go on strike, they'd have to have working jobs in the first place. They are either leeching off their men as a housewife, or they're leeching off of men by having jobs that aren't important to the economy. Right. So they're not on strike.
The entire population is 370,000. So over 25% of the population went on strike.
It's worse than that. It's 25% of the entire population. But since only 50% is represented by women, then it's actually 50% of the population of Iceland went out on strike, not on strike, but attacking men. I won't even call it a protest. They're attacking men. So this is important because remember, you can't have someone come up and say not all women. 50% of the women in this country admitted that they hate men. That's what this is a hate protest. It's not even protest. It's a rally. It's a hate rally by the women of the country towards the men of the country. So it's all women.
I have some crazy news for you. The economy did not come to a stop, and it continued as normal.
There you go, dude. It continued as normal. Exactly, because the economy rests on the shoulders of men. Now, this is important, Modern King. The simple fact, Machiavelli wrote that people will deal with unfairness, but not injustice. He was wrong, right? Now, men basically doing all the hard labor while women, got the easy life. That's unfairness. But women then going into the streets and gaslighting and bashing their men, that's injustice. Do you see any men fighting in the streets against these women? No. So Machiavelli was wrong. Men will put up with injustice as long as the person doing it to them is female.
The only memo I got was that HR departments were getting no complaints for the 24 hours that the women were on strike.
Yeah, exactly. So these women weren't on strike again. If the economy kept going, that means these women, they're either leeching off a man directly, or their jobs aren't important to the economy. So women leech off men, right? Men uphold the economy, right? Or I should say the economy is male driven. And for men to simply sit at home or stay at work while these women did this, I have complete contempt for my own gender when they do this. And when I say do this, they don't do anything.
And men
Look
were
at this clown laughing. Why? This is not funny, dude. This guy would not be laughing if a man was attacking him, right? He'd be getting upset and saying, we've got to do something about this guy, right?
writing that they were really sorry women didn't get gender equality, but I heard one CEO said it was nice to finally get some done, end quote.
Wow. And see, all these laughing guys in the bed. This is not funny, right? This is gallows humor, right? Humor is used by the losers, right? People make up jokes and laugh when they can't do anything else. Comedians are powerless bums, right? So if all you've got is laughter, you're defeated.
If companies can pay women less, why don't they hire all women?
That's a perfectly good question. It stumps her. And so since she refuses to answer, she's going to refuse to answer it. She can answer it, but she refuses to.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
No, it isn't whole other story. No, it isn't. See, and what I don't like about this, even though the interviewer exposes her, he doesn't put pushback. He should be coming in right now and saying, no, it's not a whole other story. You can't answer this.
I understand your argument, and I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry.
I can hear it in.
And then this stupid thing in the background. There's nothing to laugh at. Modern King, this is not funny. This woman is gaslighting and lying to this guy. She doesn't come off as ridiculous. She comes off as someone who's in power, who's dominant.
Your voice.
I'm not
Listen to
angry.
your voice.
I'm hearing my
Now
voice and I sound pretty calm.
You have now shifted the quality of your voice, and I thank you for that.
Okay.
And you've just given me a condescending look, and that's another.
He has, though, and she deserves it. That's beside the point, though.
Reason why we need feminism. And now I'm done. And thank you so much.
She said, we need feminism because you don't know. Look at the stupid clown emoji. She's not a clown, dudes. These women are out telling men their shit. And these guys are taking it like little bitches. The men are the clowns. The men are the clowns. Oh, that makes me puke. Man, it makes me puke. Get beyond this.
Drafted into the army.
Oh, look at this. Whoever made it. Feminism lied to women. No, dude. King. If people could be fooled by some kind of outer group, how come the MRM can't fool men? Modern King, how come the MRM cannot fool men? How come men aren't saying, oh, I went to the MRM, I went to an MRA rally, and I was totally taken over, and now I'm ready to fight the fight? Doesn't happen. Don't you think it's strange that only women are fooled? Right? No, Modern King. Feminism speaks for women.
Yes.
Why is it more socially acceptable for women to hate men than it is for men to hate women?
Because men are the devil. Because men.
These are kind of useless questions, though. In this case, I think this is the It's Complicated channel, and usually he does really good questions. I feel these questions are subpar because it allows these shitty answers. His best questions stump these people.
Are trash.
If men are more valued in society than women, why would they be the first ones sacrificed in war?
Because they think they're more valued. They're being paid for more for everything. So you put your online.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
Yes, sorry, but this is cope, right? This woman just told a bold-faced lie. These women are calling us guys the N-word. There's nothing to be, what she's doing is not illogical. She wants to bash on men and she's willing to lie about it. That's perfectly logical.
Huh?
Why?
It's not like these women can't figure it out or that they're stupid. They're smart. We're the stupid ones. Because this woman will lie her ass off and gaslight us, and we'll take it. And then say, oh, I can't figure it out, right?
Why are the men of today expected to pay for the sins of the men of the past?
Because they still keep making the same mistakes.
So is feminism about revenge?
Why didn't you say what mistakes are you talking about, right? Is feminism about revenge, right?
No, feminism is about our right to be allowed. I think it's a baseline.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get past that because that's his channel, as good as it is, it's rage bait, right? It's rage bait. Okay. King, let's hear you.
Seeing American women claiming to be oppressed when they can't even name a single right a man has.
Now, King, why are you talking about American women? This is worldwide. This is female behavior worldwide. Go to India. America has nothing on India for its misandry. And forget about the UK, right?
They don't, while at the same time admitting they wouldn't be okay with being held to the same requirements that men are. The wage gap has been debunked a long time ago and is just a product of personal choices like occupation and hours worked.
Agreed, King. Thing is, what are men going to do about it? Because these women are stripping us of our rights. Men already know that it's lies. We've got to get beyond that step.
If they were actually oppressed in America, they would have better examples to use instead of constantly regurgitating the same debunked claim over and over again. If you claim someone is wronging you on a consistent basis, it wouldn't be very difficult to give clear examples of that wrongdoing with evidence.
That's all true, King. That's right. But men need to take action, dude. We're beyond saying, hey, these guys are wrong. Anti-feminist videos, I saw them on YouTube all over the place before the feminist crackdown on YouTube. Back in 2013 when I first got on YouTube, started watching it. That's 13 years ago. So why are you still doing this kind of anti-feminist video?
To back it up.
Ranking delusional beliefs women have about dating from fantasyland to sometimes true.
This guy gets wrong too. These aren't delusions. These women are simply making demands, and if they don't get demands, they don't bother with men. These women don't care to be with men. That's why they're making these outrageous demands anyway. So they cannot lose. I don't know who this young guy is, but dude, they cannot lose. Men have zero leverage.
Of a 6'4" CEO model who makes $100,000 a year. That man is like 0.01% of the population and has more options than you can even count. You are not competing for him. You are in.
No. These women aren't competing with one another. They're simply making the demand. They're not fighting one another. If they don't get this guy, they don't care. They don't value him anyway. They value his status. That's what his money's about.
Line behind a million other women who have the exact same checklist. S tier. I only attract toxic men. At some point, you might want to look in the mirror because if every guy you're attracting is toxic, you might be the pattern. You are.
No. She's simply saying men are trash, dude. See, your framing's all wrong. This woman isn't delusional. She's just saying we're trash. Men have to come out of their cope.
Either picking them or creating the toxicity yourself. B tier. Where are all the good men? Well, they're probably in your DMs right now, but you just called them nice or too boring. And look, maybe they are, but what you're asking for is there. But you won't look twice until you're 34.
So maybe they are too boring or too nice, dude. Are men too nice? How are we too nice? How can you get too much of a good thing? Okay. So you're admitting that women don't like good men. Right.
And the roster has dried up. C tier. I want a traditional.
This is a begging video of this guy is doing, guys. You women could do so much better. Why can't you just lower your standards, accept me as a servant? That's what he's saying. But dude, they're never going to. They don't have to. Because we are optional. If women don't get what they want, they just do without.
Man, but I am not.
It's men who can't do without. That's why those 100,000 women can go in the streets and bash men and the men of Iceland do nothing.
Not traditional. She wants him to pay, lead, and protect, but cooking, cleaning, or submitting.
Not lead. No. He's getting it wrong. Men aren't leading. They're working for the woman. Right. And also the woman doesn't submit. The man working for the woman is him submitting to her. This young guy is delusional.
To anything, nah, that's oppression. Pick a lane. You can't have 1950s benefits with modern day expectations.
Dude, you should pick a lane. Either you grovel and do whatever it takes to get these girls, or you do without. This is a guy who can't pick a lane.
S tier. I bring a lot to the table. Ask her what she brings to the table and she will buffer like a broken Wi-Fi connection. My presence, energy, and vibes, that's not a contribution, that is showing up. Meanwhile, her checklist for you.
Well, guys want the woman no matter what. So her bringing herself is bringing it. You have to admit that, dude. Whoever you are. I should find this and respond to just to this guy. Women know men value them. They know they don't have to bring anything. When she says I bring a vibe, she's saying I bring myself. That's what guys want. That's what you want. And so she isn't delusional.
Is probably 3 pages long. A tier. I can change him. Here's the thing. Sometimes women do help men level up, but there's a big difference between bringing out.
No, they don't help men level up. Leeching off a man isn't helping him. Telling him to get his ass moving isn't leveling him. So for you to believe these lies shows you, again, you're the delusional person. Whoever this guy is, King, who is this delusional guy?
Potential in building a man from scratch. One works, the other is just going to burn you out. D tier. All men are trash. She's not dating all men. She is dating the same guy with a different name 6 times in a row. I don't know about you.
No. She is saying we're all trash. She hates us all. Dude. The average woman on the street has contempt for men, period. So she's not lying. She's not delusional. You are delusional.
But after a while, maybe the trash collector is the problem here. A tier. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. This quote sometimes looks an awful lot like a red flag disguised as a standard. If her worst is emotional warfare at 2 a.m. and her best is tolerable for a weekend, run. C tier.
Yeah, but that means all guys would have to run all the time. Because again, this is what women have contempt for men, and men are willing to do whatever it takes. So they have all the power. They can make all these demands.
Doesn't matter. Says height isn't a big deal, but her Hinge bio says must be 6 foot minimum to ride. Her words and actions are living in 2 completely different zip codes. A tier. Men are intimidated by me. Sometimes.
Yeah, but they can be hypocritical, right? They can be hypocritical because again, if they don't get what they want, they just do without. There's no drawbacks for them. These women are never going to suffer in the dating market by acting this way.
They might not actually be intimidated and they just don't want the headache. Labeling yourself as intimidating sounds like a lot better of an excuse than just saying you're hard to deal with. B tier. Body count doesn't matter for women. Typically the ones that are saying this are the ones that don't want theirs to count against them. Tell that to any guy who's thinking long term and watch.
Well, it doesn't count, dude, because guys do shack up with these women. These guys, it's also hateful towards their fellow man. You're saying, I don't want a woman who's been touched by another man because I hate other men and other men's dicks hurt women. Male sexuality harms women. In the meantime, when these girls find around and say, no, I do like you and I will choose you, these guys don't reject her. They erase it in their minds. Say, oh, she's a good girl now. All those other guys who harmed her, I mean, I hate their guts, but because she's chosen me, her sins are washed away. The body count talk is hatred of your fellow man.
Watch his face. If it really didn't matter, nobody would lie about it. A tier.
Notice how he could give clear examples of what he was talking about and wasn't intentionally vague.
King, the guy was delusional. He had his framing all wrong. He didn't even know what he was talking about.
It's because he was confident in what he was saying and knew he wasn't simply making it up out of the blue.
Well, his confidence is ill-informed.
Intentional vagueness is nothing more than a tactic to conceal a lack of substance and protect a weak argument from criticism.
Women in this country still make 77 cents on the dollar.
Well, the women don't need arguments, right? They don't need to back up their arguments. They've got all the power, dude. 100,000 women in Iceland, well, 50% of the female population were able to just go off in the streets and not bother with work. They're not delusional. They have all the power.
For what men make. So if women don't make less than men?
Actually, if you start looking at the numbers, Rachel, there are lots of reasons for that.
Wait.
Well,
don't tell me the reasons are. Do women make less than men for doing the same work?
No, because...
Wow. Okay.
Well, for example, men work an average of 44 hours a week. Women work...
Okay, that woman talking knows she's lying. She was just surprised. She was surprised that he didn't support the lie. Rachel Maddow, right? For women to lie like this about men is an attack on men. Now, the average woman, King, supports that lie. They don't necessarily believe in it. They support it. So they're attacking men. That's what this is about.
41 hours a week. Men go in...
It's an attack on men's rights. Because what they're saying is women should be given money for free. In order to equal things out, men have to work more than women, and women make the same pay anyway. They're fighting for inequality. The average woman, King, works for inequality. She's a sexist. The average woman on the street is a sexist.
Professions like engineering, science, and math that earn more. Women want more flexible
Listen, this is not a math is hard.
No. Yes, it is, actually.
No, it isn't.
Well,
No, listen.
All right, let Rachel frame it, though, the way you
Right now,
laid it out.
women are making 77 cents on the dollar for what men are making.
But that's not true. If so,
let Rachel make her point.
Every greedy businessman in America would hire only...
Hey, let Rachel make her point. This guy was making the point. In other words, shut up and keep up with the false narrative. The average man, King, is against his fellow man. Right? If feminism fooled women, how come it affects men so well?
Women save 25%, and I love how passionate you are. I wish you were as right as...
This is the average guy, too. This is why men have no power, because we beg. This guy is begging. He knows Rachel Maddow, being female, has dominance over him. She's above him. He knows it. That's why you have these videos where guys are laughing, right? Cope laughing.
About what you're saying, as you are passionate about it. I really do.
Everything that's happening can be changed with a change of attitude by men. Men's oppression is allowed by men. It's caused by women, but it's also allowed by men. This guy's allowing his own oppression. This woman is telling a bold-faced lie, slandering his character as a man, and he's groveling. The groveling has to end.
For example, may I share one fact with you? When you look at, for example, single women working in America today between the ages of, I think, 40 and 64, who makes more, men or women, on average? Men make $40,000 a year. Women make $47,000. When you take out the marriage factor, look at some economics. My point here is that we're manufacturing a political crisis.
Let's nip this man versus...
Hey, that's perfect. Women are manufacturing, not we. Women are manufacturing a political crisis because they're actually attacking men. That's how it's really should be framed. But this guy can't turn around and say women are my enemy. Women are my political enemy. He can never say that.
Fair conversation in the bud right.
I'm not even going to take that insult. I'm getting past this disgusting woman. That's just women insulting men. Right?
a man ask women that question, it already tells me about that man everything I need to know. So let me just clarify something here.
She's talking about the bear still. Okay, I'm get past that. Let's see, what will this guy say about it?
This is what I call twisting the meaning, changing the whole point of the discussion to paint men in a bad light.
There you go, dude. This is the only guy who got it. It's twisting facts to paint men in a bad light. Because, dude, they hate us. I know people don't want to hear this. Guys don't want to hear this. But women do not like men and have contempt for us. And they get a sadistic pleasure out of harming us.
Guys ask, what do you bring to the table? They're not asking women who are good partners. They're not talking about the women.
Dude, women don't have to bring anything to the table. Men have the desire, women don't. You know, if you're a child, if a child has ice cream and another child is trying to trade with broccoli with them, saying, look, I'll give you this broccoli if you give me some ice cream. The broccoli kid is going to fail every time. Because he wants the ice cream. The kid with the ice cream doesn't want the broccoli.
Women who raise kids, build a home, support their men, and make sacrifices. Those women
don't do any of that, dude. What sacrifices do women make?
Clearly bring a lot to the table, and most men respect them deeply. But let's
be now this guy is delusional. See, this is the problem. Men are delusional. They're copers. Men working for women isn't women bringing something to the table.
Be honest, that's not the majority. Most women today who are in their relationships aren't giving birth, raising multiple kids, or putting their careers on hold.
How is giving birth and not working for a living sacrificing?
Maybe in a marriage, more women do. But even then, we are living in a time with the lowest birth rates in modern history. So let's stop pretending.
All that just says is women don't want to bother with kids. They never liked kids, and they don't want to bother getting knocked up. They're living a better lifestyle than they did in the past. What are you going to do to force them to behave otherwise, dude? See, all this talk, but it always ends at the solution part, right? Hey, dude, whoever you are you going to force women to get pregnant? Are you going to advocate for that? Now, I don't, everybody, right? But these guys, if they're going to complain about it, they'd have to advocate for it. And since you're never going to, all you're doing is groveling and begging, dude.
That every woman is out there sacrificing everything for love and family. And even in a scenario she described, let's say a woman is raising kids and supporting her family.
Women have abortion parties, dude. They fight for the abortions and they have parties. So they're not about family and not about sacrifice. Or at least they're not about self-sacrifice, are they?
Great, but what about the men? He's probably working 10, 12 hours a day, taking care of financial responsibilities, protecting...
Yeah, he's the worker. He's the slave, dude. He's the servant. You have to be a loser to want that for your life.
The family, fixing things, solving problems, and still being expected to stay strong through it all. He sacrifices sleep, time, peace of mind, and years of his life to provide for his family.
So notice when he gets to the men, the sacrifices are real. The women don't sacrifice shit. The only sacrifice he's saying the women make is that they don't rock the boat. Don't be an asshole. That's a woman's big sacrifice. You can't say it's a sacrifice unless you're admitting women are being assholes in the relationship.
But somehow that's invisible, and that's the manipulation right here. Framing it as if only women give and men just take. When in reality, in most healthy relationships, both sides give a lot.
Those relationships don't exist, dude. Those relationships don't exist. And never have.
The truth is, when men ask, what do you bring to the table, they're talking about the women who don't contribute anything. The ones who expect everything.
Yeah, let's get by this. This guy is just wasting more time.
What do you bring to the table?
Meanwhile, I will ask my man to do anything for me, but I swear to you, the moment that he asks me to do anything, I'm irritated. And it could be the simplest task, like, oh, could you rinse this cup out for me?
Yeah, because your servant is balking from his job. You're the one who tells him, I'm going to get past this to the man. We know the women are just going to lie, right? And make demands. Let's see what the men say.
Grab that towel.
Y'all are such bad people. Like no.
Hey, finally, another man who got the framing right. You are bad people. Yes, that's true. They're bad to men, especially. Like maybe women are good people to dogs, right? But when it comes to relationships with men, women are bad people. That has been demonstrated.
No jokes. Y'all are actually just bad people. I was like,
why are you smiling when you're saying it? None of these guys can get over their cope, right? This guy, when he smiles, he's saying, I'm beneath this woman. I'm the servant. I can do nothing about this. I don't want to do anything about it. So I'm just going to laugh about it. Right.
Expecting to look at the comments, and the comments were going to be like, on her neck, no. Me AF, no me. He does everything for me. I've been working on it though. As hell, we are unreasonable. They gonna come for you, but this is a lot of us. Me, I'm trying to be nicer. Y'all are genuinely y'all just ain't. Like actually, of course you're the problem. Of course.
Thank you again. There's the problem. Yeah. But I mean, what's the solution though? Again, I don't know who these guys are. King, do you have any of these guys in your description box? I'm just curious. Best of modern King, best of modern. No. So you have all these guys and you don't have any of them in the description box. You don't say who they are. Right?
You're the problem. Yo, man.
Well, I can't talk to this guy directly because I don't know even who he is.
He deserves better. I would say
men do deserve better, but you're not going to get it. Okay. Now, you know something? Not gonna bother with the rest of this video, right, King? I'll get to the very end where you talk.
This is a prime example of exactly what not to do if you have any amount of common sense. I am a strong believer in trying your best to avoid problematic situations before.
Dude, if men had common sense, they would come to terms with the fact that women are our political enemies. And we'd show solidarity with them. Those women, 100,000 of them, showed solidarity with one another and fought against our well-being on a political level. A man with common sense would do the same. He would fight back. He wouldn't be delusional. He wouldn't say women, he wouldn't laugh at his own oppression and get angry that he wasn't chosen to be a good servant. Sorry, men are the ones who lack common sense. The women have perfect common sense. Under the situation, the women have perfect common sense. They know they can trash us with impunity and dust their hands off. Job well done. They're not delusional. We are. Thank you, Modern King.